Peppy! Stay there. Welcome back to Ben's Garage. We are in the humble garage. I've got my little workshop buddy here. It's nice to have a bit of company up here. Kira's never bothered. Ludo would come up, and then once he realised he wasn't getting any biscuits, he would piss off again. Peppy keeps me company. He's laying now on a rug up there. I've got him a nice quilt, folded up bed. But no, he's round the back on a rolled up rug, which I'll be putting on the floor at some point. I tried to get the space heater running. It keeps throwing up error code E1. I've taken the top of it off, and the fuel lines have all split. It's not actually pumping any fuel out, but I'm assuming it's not being able to drag it out of the tank. So that's a job for another day. I'm just going to see what size these fuel lines are and get some ordered up and replace them. We've only had this thing a couple of years, and I've probably used it for, in total, about an hour. Anyway, that's by the by. Today's video, if you saw my last video, it was only a couple of minutes long. We have in the workshop a Renault Megane 1997. It's the 1.4 single overhead cam, so it's only the 8 valve, not the 16 valve version. Head gasket's gone on it, or something major has gone wrong with the head. Belongs to friends of ours that own the mascot. They went on holiday in this. They've got another little car, Citroen AX. They took this Renault Megane and the Citroen AX. Citroen AX broke down. Turns out that's blown a core plug out and coolant everywhere. That's in a garage about 400 kilometres away. Just, well, I don't really want to do that job because I think they're a bit of a twat. They managed to get this home. I don't know if they've done any more damage by doing that. But today's exercise, which might run into tomorrow now because obviously with the heater not running and I've got to sort that out. Anyway, get the cylinder head off of this. It is a piece of cake, really. I've got all the exhaust manifold unbolted. I've took the rocker cover off. Spark plugs out. I've already put the bore scope down it. Nearly, I think all 4 cylinders have got water in. And if this not water, it's petrol, where it wasn't firing. He actually managed to drive it here, but when he switched it off, it sounded like it had locked up. So it had probably got quite hot. So we don't really know what damage has been done. It's an old car, 1997. He was on about putting the head back on after a bit of a sandpaper, but I'm not, no. I found a company in Limoges. Obviously in the UK, you just look up engine remanufacturers and pop it down there and get the head skimmed. But in France, it's a little bit more tricky. There is a company in Limoges which do like remanufactured engines, but they will actually, if you take a cylinder head in, they'll pressure test it and skim it. If the pressure test comes back okay, they'll skim it. Alloy head on these, cast iron block, alloy head, cylinder liners, cam belt is a piece of piss. So it's not going to be a how-to, but I'll just bring you along and we'll see what we can get up to. I don't think I'll get this head off today because of other things going on in here. But yeah, let's crack on, see what we can do. So this is what the inside of the rocker cover looks like. And this is what happens when you mix oil with water. Water is not supposed to be in the oil system, and oil is not supposed to be in the water system. So this is what happens when a head gasket goes. Not all the time, but quite often you'll get water in the oil. If the head gasket leaks from the water system to the outside of the engine, you'll get water leak coming outside the engine. But yeah, quite often you'll get water in the oil, and this is what it looks like. So pull your dipstick out if it's higher than normal, or you take the filler cap off and it's all sludgy and creamy like this. Then if you take the filler cap off and it's all sludgy and creamy like this, then you know something is not quite right somewhere. Got to get down on the floor now, take the wheel off, take the alternator belt off, the power steering pump, belt, and the crankshaft pulley. There's no keyway on the crankshaft pulley on these, so that comes off. Then we can get the cover off, time it up. I've just got to do the downpipe, which looks a bit tricky. There's a bloody great catalytic converter just sat underneath the engine. Back in the day when catalytic converters were sort of still a new thing. So yeah, I've got to just undo that. I'm going to see if I can take it off with the inlet manifold in place. Just take all the pipes off of it, and then I can take the inlet manifold off when the head goes, you know, when I get the head off the car. Hopefully, that's what the plan is anyway. I just got a bit of wiring loom to take off over the back. It gets a little bit tight in that back corner. But from what I can see, I've already disconnected all the wiring to the inlet manifold. It's a single point injection on these, by the look of it. So you've got a fuel in and a fuel return, a couple of vacuum pipes, and hopefully the inlet manifold will come away with the head, in theory. Right, I'm going to get on the floor now and get this wheel off, get all the bottom done. So I'll be back with you shortly. Day 2 on the Megane. This should be so easy. It should be like an hour's job to get it off. Normally it would be. Able-bodied, when I was walking about, I could probably do this in an hour, get the head off, piece of cake. Obviously rolling around on the floor, in the wheelchair, things are difficult to get to, but we get there in the end. What was causing a lot of trouble, the last person that fitted a timing belt on this car either used thread lock or did up the timing belt cover bolts so in tight. They're Torx bolts. Well, that's all that's left of one. I had to grind the heads off. Yeah, for whatever reason, it's a job to get it down there, because they're right in line with the chassis rail. So I got Torx bits, but I couldn't use it in the ratchet, so I had to use it with a spanner, and they just rounded off. They were so tight. So yeah, I've ground the heads off with the trusty Dremel, enough to pop the cover off, and then they just unscrewed with put some mole grips on it, and they came undone. So all that's left is I'm just looking at the inlet manifold, whether I can take the inlet manifold off with the head, or if I've got to take it off and leave it there. The exhaust manifold is all unbolted off the head. I've just got to undo it off the downpipe, and I'm hoping that I can just lift that up enough to be able to clear that, and then we'll just stuff a bit of rag down the downpipe. Fingers crossed. Yeah, we're getting there. We're making progress. Nothing ever goes straightforward here at Ben's Garage, as you might have noticed on our previous however many videos I've got out there. Nothing is ever a straightforward job. Yeah, anyway, we soldier on. Right, I'll get back to you when I've got a few more bits off. Hopefully get the head off. No, I've got to order some tools. I need some female Torx sockets for the head bolts, because they are Torx studs. Stretch bolts on these engines, so we'll be replacing those if the head's any good, that is. Anyway, let's crack on. It's getting a bit overcast out there now. Yeah, so that's the head off. Gasket has actually, I don't know if you can see that, it's actually cracked there, split. Will the camera pick it up? So that's gone there. It's actually snapped. Gasket's gone pretty bad at that end. It's actually broken into the water jacket, so the water was getting into the cylinder, and it's all gone at that end as well. I know obviously that was a bit stuck to the head, so when I pulled it out, but it's all pretty fragile. It's not looking great. That is what was causing the issue. So now I'm covered in all kinds of crap. Got the inlet manifold off. It probably would have been easier to take the inlet manifold off while it was in the engine, but to save getting under the car, this, that and the other, I took the cylinder head off with the inlet manifold and just taken it off. So I shall let Marcel know that the head's off, send him some pictures. He's then going to find out where we can get it pressure tested and skimmed, and then find out what we've got to take off, because they don't sometimes take the brackets off, take the distributor off. They might want me to take the camshaft and rockers out, I'm not sure. The more that we can do, the cheaper it's going to be. So if it's just a head that they can pressure test and skim, so it's not got any of the camshaft or anything like that in it, and any of the brackets and stuff I can take off, just save a little bit of money. That's the plan anyway. So that's going to be it for this video. I'll say it wasn't a how-to or anything like that. But yeah, head gasket was gone. And I'm not confident in this head to just clean it up, put it back on, without having it tested. I don't want to be doing the job twice, if you know what I mean. So we'll get it properly pressure tested. If that comes back as good, then we'll get it skimmed, buy all the gasket kits and cam belt kits and new stretch bolts, and we'll put it all back together, fingers crossed, and it'll run. It'll be a bit of a twat putting it back together with that inlet mount. It's all right, but obviously with taking it off, I unbolted the head, lifted it up and slid it forward so I could get around the back of the inlet manifold to take the pipes and stuff off. So it's not a big drama. The servo hose split on the end, so we'll have to do something about that. The petrol pipes are absolute. I could not get them off, so there's enough slack in them that I've managed to cut them off, and then we'll be able to put them back on again. Other than that, it's just quite straightforward stuff. Luckily, it's a pretty basic engine. The block's going to take quite a bit of cleaning up. This engine's got liners in it, so it's a cast iron block with liners and an alloy head, aluminium head. So that's why we're going to get it skimmed, because there's no way of cleaning that up and it being dead level flat. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up if you did. I'm going to go and wipe my hands and this, that and the other. I could probably do with a bit of a shower, but I don't know if we've got any hot water. Anyway, catch you in the next video. Bye for now.